In this lesson, we will examine EISs specifically prepared for broad federal actions. While CEQ regulations provide guidance on issuing these broad-based EISs, agencies have not always consistently used these actions as intended by CEQ. However, in December 2014, CEQ issued guidance on the effective use of a programmatic NEPA review. This presentation is based on the guidance provided in the 2014 document. The Programmatic EIS is proving to be a useful document under NEPA. Interestingly, CEQ regulations do not use the phrase Programmatic Environmental Impact Statement, but the concept of a PEIS is clearly stated in Section 1502.4b of the CEQ regulations. Environmental impact statements may be prepared and are sometimes required for broad federal actions, such as the adoption of new agency programs or regulations. This part of the regulations mentions that these broad actions should be developed in one of three ways: geographically, generically, and by the stage of technological development. Now that you have an idea of what is a PEIS, let's look at how it differs from an EIS. In this slide, you can see that the PEIS is referred to as a first tier, and the EIS as the second tier. Think of a tier as a level. You can also see the PEIS is designed at multiple levels to be wide-ranging, as opposed to an EIS, which is designed to be project-specific. The broad-based PEIS has four specific uses. Three of them are uses not commonly encountered. First of these is a PEIS used to adopt official policy. A PEIS prepared with this as the end product results in or substantially alters agency programs. For example, an agency desires to redesign an existing program or undertake national rulemaking. This is a federal action, and hopefully you can see how a project-specific EIS would not be appropriate to address broad-based topics such as these. The second type of PEIS is adopting formal plans. These are documents that guide or constrain alternative uses of federal resources upon which future agency actions will be based. Preparing a PEIS that results in an agency adopting an agency-wide plan that can be used for multiple projects is an example of this type of action. The third type of agency action is adopting agency programs. These PEISs are used when an agency decides to proceed with a group of concerted actions to implement a specific policy or plan. This type of PEIS would be used if an agency was given a new mission or asked to make major changes to an existing program. The point to remember is that these three types of PEISs and the next one we will describe all must adhere to the EIS format. The last type of PEIS is the one most often encountered: approving multiple actions. When an agency desires to proceed with multiple projects that are connected in time and/or space, the agency will prepare a PEIS so that the project-specific EISs that follow can reference the PEIS, thus making them easier and faster to complete. In the 2003 CEQ report, Modernizing NEPA Implementation, the task force that prepared the report stated that a PEIS and tiering can reduce or eliminate redundant and duplicative analyses and effectively address cumulative effects. Tiering refers to an approach where federal agencies first consider the broad, general impacts of a proposed program, plan, or policy, the first tier, and then conduct subsequent narrower, decision-focused reviews, the second tier. Perhaps the best way to understand this is by an example. In May 2015, the Department of Energy issued the Upper Great Plains Wind Energy PEIS. The document evaluates issues and potential environmental impacts associated with wind energy development in the Western Area Power Administration's Upper Great Plains Customer Service Region, which includes Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, and North and South Dakota. The PEIS includes the sections you would find in an EIS. However, the affected environment and environmental consequences are discussed in broad terms and is not specific to one location. Because Western will be proposing many future wind energy projects in these states, the intent is to use the PEIS to reduce the amount of work needed to prepare project-level EISs. The PEIS describes management practices approved by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that can be used in the EIS, thereby eliminating the need for the service to individually review and approve each EIS. To summarize, the PEIS is useful in NEPA actions at multiple levels. The distinguishing difference between an EIS and a PEIS is the breadth of scope. An EIS is project-based and thus has a narrow focus. The PEIS looks at broader issues. PEISs that approve multiple actions are used when an agency wants to prepare a PEIS that can be incorporated by reference into multiple EISs as a way to reduce the time to prepare and process an EIS.